Before I say anything, I've got some magic tips and tricks about selecting hair in Photoshop inside the video that nobody has ever talked about, so stay tuned.
Hey there, this is Unmesh. One of the biggest problems that we as Photoshoppers have always faced is selecting hair. But with the release of the Photoshop 2015.5 and the select and mask feature, it's become easier than ever. But here's the thing. There's no machine, no software ever built in the history of mankind or womankind, because that's what you've got to say nowadays, that can say, okay, that's a black background and that's a black hair. Or that can say, okay, that's a tree, that's a hair. That cannot happen. You need to make sure that the hair of the subject is in contrast with the background. That's the least that you have to do. You have to capture that in camera. Because look at it this way. Hair is a very tiny element. It's a very thin thing, right? And whatever color is in the background, it absorbs that color. Even if you are an excellent artist, even if you are very fine with your editing, there will be some color cast inside of your hair which is going to be impossible to remove. So, let me be real with you. You can never be perfect with this. In this video, I've got two examples, one with a little ideal background and one with a little challenging background, and we'll talk about how to select hair in these situations. Also, I'll talk about the limitations beyond which Photoshop cannot do a thing. Also, I've got some amazing spicy tips and tricks. So, stay tuned. Let's hit it. So here we are in Photoshop and I'm using the Photoshop CC 2017 version. If you're using anything above 2015.5, awesome. But anything below 2015.5, it won't work. This method won't work. Why? Because the select and mask feature was introduced in Adobe Photoshop 2015.5. So time to update. It's an amazing tool, so do consider updating. Now, the first thing that you need to do, of course, this is a stock image, the link to which I'll link in the description below so that you can download it and follow along. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to select a selection tool. Any tool will do. Rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, or lasso tool, anything will do. Once you have a selection tool selected, select anything. Okay, rectangular marquee tool will do. Now, see this button here, select and mask. Just click on that button. Now a whole new dialog box appears. Now this is the dialog box where we will do most of our selections, intricate selections. Now the first thing is that you need to make sure that onion skin is selected. Now decrease the transparency to an extent where you begin to see her face. Select the quick selection tool, this is the quick selection tool, and just paint over her face. Okay, this automatically selects her face. Now once we are done with the selection, we'll refine the edges, but before I do that, let us understand a little bit about the views. So here, as you can see, what are views? What is onion skin? What is marching hand? What's overlay? So if you are a video guy, you would know what onion skin is. But if you're not, like a photographer like me, this might be something new to you unless you know about it. So let's go to onion skin, and it's simply nothing. It's just when the transparency is 0, everything will show up, irrespective of what you have selected. When the transparency is 100, only what you have selected will show up. And since there is nothing in the background, no layer below this layer, it shows you the checker box. Had there been a color, a background, anything, a layer beneath this layer, this checker box would have shown that. So hope you understood that. Now this is onion skin. The other things that you might use is black and white. This just shows you the selection. The white area is the area that's selected. The black area is the area that's not selected. Now one more thing that you might use is on black and on white. How will it look on black? How will it look on white? Now here's the thing. If you have a subject that you have captured an image that you have clicked a photo of in a white background, you just cannot put her in black background. Why? Because hair is a thin thing, as I said. It takes the color of the background, and some colors it takes inside the hair. Even if you make it black on black, and even if you make the selection very well, her hair has taken a little bit of white cast into them, so you just cannot do that, okay? So let's go back to onion skin and let's refine the edges. To refine the edges, to make selection of the hair very easier for you and intricate, all you have to do, Select the Refine Edge tool and paint on the complicated areas. Select the messy areas, okay? Paint on the messy areas. So all you need is, let's zoom it in and let's paint on the messy areas. But before we do, let's understand one more thing. Now, once you are zoomed in and you want to move, how to do that? Well, you have the tool selected. Now watch this. Press and hold spacebar. Watch the cursor. It changes into a hand. Now you move. And once your location is selected, once you have decided, okay, I need to work on this location, leave the spacebar and start working. So just paint over the areas, which is a little bit complicated. Okay, that's something weird happened right there. Decrease the transparency so that you can see the hairs which are not selected. Okay, and start painting over the areas which are complex. All right. Move, select, and we are pretty much done. Now let's zoom out and let's increase the transparency to 100% to see which areas are selected. Now this is a pretty good selection, but as you can see, some of the edges are a little bit fried up. So let's go ahead and change the view to black and white. Now here, as you can see, that some of the areas are not selected. As you can see, a black cast has been applied to that. So we need to clean that up. How to clean that up? Select the brush tool just below the Refine Edge tool and just start painting over it, okay? Don't go near the edges. Okay, let's paint over it really quickly. Take your time, I'm just doing it really quickly. Take your time. Okay. All right. Okay, we're good. Before I move on to the next step, I need to tell you my personal opinion. I never use these sliders. If you want, you can play with the sliders, you can play with the edge detection, and you can play with it, but I normally don't do that. So that's pretty much okay. I think I like it a little bit. Okay. Let's go to the onion skin and let's click OK. Now this has got a transparent background. Now we need to select a background color. So there's a trick here, right? Let's select a background color, select white, let's select white. Okay. Okay, all right. Now here's the thing. You can select any background color, but there's a limitation to it. What is the limitation? Let's turn off this layer mask and let's see what was originally there. And let's sample the color around her hair. So if you go ahead in the color panel and sample the color around her hair, you'll find that. What is the brightness? Look at the brightness. This is HSB. H means hue, S saturation, B brightness. Look at the brightness. It's 85. Just remember that number, okay? Remember that number. Now let's select the color. We can select any color, but there's a limitation. Let's turn on the layer mask. How to turn on the layer mask and turn off it? Press and hold shift and click on it to turn it on. Press and hold shift and click on it to turn it off. Let's turn it on and let's select a color. You just cannot select any color because you will begin to see fringes and you don't want to see them. So you have to select a light color. Remember the number 85? Now you need to remember that here too. So move to 85, right? This is 85, okay? 85 is fine. Now minus 85 from 100. What is 100 minus 85? 15. So if I move here, I need to make sure that the saturation is 15. Okay, so this is point B. Consider this point B and consider this point A. The position where the brightness was 85 and the position where saturation was 15 are point A and B. So consider this as a triangle, and any color inside the triangle will go with the girl without any issues. So this is called the color triangle, and this is a phenomenon that I have invented. So this might not work on every image, but this works on most of the images. So that's a cool trick to know. Now, that was the magic number 1. I've got 2 more. So select any color that you like. I'll select a lip color and go to that triangle area. Stay inside that triangle area, okay? Click OK. Look how beautiful is the edge. Look at the edge. It's so beautiful. Now, here's the thing. If I turn this off, let's zoom in just a little bit. If I turn this layer mask off, you can see so much of the hair was there. But after selection, too much of the hair is gone. Click it again. So much of the hair was there. Click it again. Too much is gone. What to do? Magic tip number 2. Just duplicate this layer and watch. Watch what happens. Without this, with this. Watch what happened. We got some extra hair. This was magic tip number 2. And magic tip number 3 is coming on the second example. In the second example, as you can see, the background is not that flat. It's a landscape, and it is going to be a little bit difficult for us to extract the subject from it, but we'll do it. And one of the more challenging things in this image is that, look at the hair. It's blending with the background. Why? Because the guy or the girl who has clicked the photo has used a very shallow depth of field, a very high background blur. So some of her hair, which is at the back, has blurred out. So how are we going to select this? The same way we did with the previous image, but with a little bit of spicy magic tip number 3. So let's go ahead and repeat the same steps. So this one selected, select and mask. Decrease the transparency and select her very carefully, and this time you need to be very careful. Excuse me, I selected the brush tool. I need to select the quick selection tool. Okay, selected. All right, amazing. Now let's zoom in and let's properly select it, and let's inspect the edges whether they are selected properly or not. All right, so this is not selected right here. So all I need to do, I need to make the brush a little bit smaller. Yes, to make the brush smaller or bigger, all you need to do, press and hold Alt or Option, right mouse button, drag it to the right to make it bigger, drag it to the left to make it smaller. Okay. Right. Let's select this and let's decrease transparency just a little bit. Let's select this too. Okay, let's select this. All right, I think we have selected it pretty well. And now it's time for us to refine the edges. Now in this image, refining edges, you need to be very, very careful. Since some of the hairs are blending with the background, you have to paint on only those areas which are critical. Any other areas might mess up the image. Now, let's zoom in and let's select the refine edge tool and let's paint over here. Don't touch the neck. Okay? All right. Don't touch here, the selection is fine. Okay, the lesser you do in this, the better this time. It's pretty fine. Done. Don't touch it anymore. All right, let's look at the transparency 100. How's the selection? It's pretty good, not bad. Let's see it on white. All right, all right. We need to paint a little bit here and there. Okay. Now it's looking pretty good, but I think I should paint just a little bit over here. Let's decrease the opacity a little bit over here, maybe. No, that's look bad. That looks bad. Okay, let's zoom it out. Let's zoom it out. Okay, here comes magic tip number 3. Click OK. Now, let's select a background color. So suppose I'm selecting white, okay, as a background color. Take this layer below this. Now I cannot see much of a hair. What do I do? Use magic tip number 2. Duplicate it. You can see more of hair. It's looking beautiful. But what if you want even more of hair? What if you want even more? Let's turn this off. We had more hair. What if you want that? Let's zoom it out. And this time what we need to do, we need to apply the layer mask. Okay, right click on the layer mask and click apply layer mask. And then go to edit. Watch this. Sorry, excuse me. Go to layer, matting, defringe. 1 pixel. Okay. Now look what it did. Look. Let me show you the before and after. This is the before. This is the after. This is the before. This is the after. Added that hair. This is the before, this is the after. Very minute, but it adds a lot. Okay, so that's how we select hair. Now you can go ahead and you can look at the background color. Look at the color, and you have a larger triangle this time from here to here. You have a larger triangle, so you can select anything beyond in that color range. So suppose I want the background to be a little bluish. Click OK. Let's turn this on. Amazing, isn't it? So that's how you select hair in Photoshop. Of course, there are many other ways to do that, and I might cover that in my future videos. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button and do give us a like if you liked the video. This is Unmesh Dinda signing off, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.